Hello, I am Dr. D.D. Sawant, Department of Geography from J.A.T Art, Science and Commerce College for Women, Malegaon Dist-Nashik. Today's topic, which I had chosen, that is a tropic levels, food chains and food webs. As stated earlier, green plants are very important biotic components of the biospheric ecosystem because these green plants manufacture their own food, which becomes source of food energy for all. Manufacture their food with the help of carbon dioxide, inorganic salt, means the phosphorus and nitrates, water and sunlight. Carbon dioxide is taken by plants from the atmosphere through their leaves during daytime, while inorganic salts and water are taken by plants from the soils through their roots by the process of root osmosis. The green pigment chlorophyll of plants traps solar radiation or sunlight. Now, plants convert water and carbon dioxide into starch and sugar with the help of sunlight. The whole chain of this process is called photosynthesis. Thus, the green plants are called primary producers, and the animals depending on primary producer plants, those are called as heterotrophs, are called consumer, which is a called as a heterotrophs. Some animals exclusively depend on other animals for their food, whereas some animals, for example man, depend on both plants and animals for their food. The animals deriving their food exclusively from plants are called herbivores. Those animals which take their food exclusively from animals are called carnivores, and the animals depending on both plants and animals for their food are called omnivorous, for example, as a man. So, feeding, if you'll see that, transfer and assimilation of food energy takes place in hierarchical order in the ecosystem through various levels. Thus, the levels through which food energy passes from one group of organisms to the other group are called tropic levels. The chain of transformation and transfer of food energy in the ecosystem from one group of organisms to the other group through a series of steps or levels is called food chain. In other words, the chain of transfer of food energy from one group of organisms to the other group in the biosphere as a ecosystem is called food chain. In other words, the chain of transfer of food energy from the group of organisms to the other group in the biospheric ecosystem is called food chain, and the point where food energy is transformed from one group of organisms to the other group is called tropic level. Hence, the concept of tropic level is based on the classic work which was given by R.L. Lindman in 1942, who pointed out that living organisms can be grouped into a series of more or less discrete tropic levels, with each level depending on preceding one for its energy as a food supply. On an average, 4 tropic levels of food chains are identified. Number 1, that is a tropic level. First, the base of the food chain is formed by heterotropic primary producer organisms which include green plants. This base of the food chain is called tropic level 1, where green plants produce their food through the process of photosynthesis with the help of sunlight, water, carbon dioxide, and inorganic salts, and they consume the produce energy to build their tissues and bodies. The tropic level 1 is also the source of food for all other organisms of the food chain. All the green plants are the members of tropic level 1. Now, second one, that is a tropic level 2. The organisms who do not produce their food themselves but depend on primary producers for their food are included in tropic level 2. These organisms are animals and are called primary consumers. They are basically grazers like sheep, cow, rabbits, goats, deers, etc. These animals are called herbivores. The tropic level, where food energy is transferred from primary producers to primary consumers, is called tropic level 2. Now, next third, that is a tropic level 3. The animals who depend on animals, mainly herbivorous animals, for their food are included in the tropic level. These animals are called carnivores and secondary consumers because they depend on the primary consumer animals of herbivores group of tropic level 2, means the carnivores include number 1, that is a land animals, lions, hawks, bears, leopards, eagles, etc. Second, animal living in the soils, those are bacteria which decompose dead herbivorous animals. Number third, that is a aquatic animals. These animals which are herring the tropic level, where energy is transferred from primary consumers to secondary consumers, is called tropic level third. Now the plants, those are primary producers. Herbivorous animals are primary consumers. Carnivorous animals, those are secondary consumers or primary carnivores. It means that carnivores and omnivores, these are secondary carnivores. Second one, that is a grass, is a primary producer, is eaten by sheep, which is called as a herbivores, yeah, primary consumer. Sheep is eaten by owls, which are carnivorous, yeah, secondary consumers, yeah, those are primary carnivores. Number third, that is a grass, insects, frogs, snakes, hawks, leopard. When the feeding relationship in a natural ecosystem become more complicated, the food chain does not remain simple and linear, rather it is also complicated by several interconnected overlapping food chains. This happens where when greater number of species feed on many kinds of prey. Such complicated food chain is called food web. For example, there are various pathways of transfer of energy between diatoms, which are called as the primary producers in marine ecosystem, and adult herring. For example, number 1, that is herring feeds on arrow worm, which feed on barnacle larvae, which feed on diatoms. Number 2, herring feeds on sea butterfly, which feeds on Pseudocalenus, Acorcia, Demora. calanas, all of which feed on diatoms and so on. So like this way, this is the diagram which is are shown as the producers. First tropic level, second tropic level primary consumer, third tropic level which is a secondary consumer, fourth tropic level which is called as a tertiary consumers, and fifth tropic level, that is a quaternary consumers. So like this way, this is the tropic level, these are the tropic levels and food chain and food web of uh, the topic. So we have discussed this in a brief. Thank you very much.